He says in verse 13, and withal they learn to be idle. The word idle means free from labor, a life of leisure, being lazy. So if they get to the place of idleness, wow, look what happens. They become tattlers. Become busybodies. They're speaking things which they ought not. He says, I will that they marry, their children, guide the home. But notice he talks about this idea of going house to house. Verse 13 says, and withal they learn to be idle. That means free from labor, free from responsibilities. They become lazy. He says then they'll go house to house, and they're idle. They become tattlers, they're busybodies, which means to be a busybody is to get involved in the affairs of others. They're going house to house. Let me tell you what this modern day house to house idleness looks like. It looks like Facebook. It looks like the internet. It looks like MySpace. And because you don't have labor and responsibilities, because you're idle and free from anything, then you give yourself over to being busybody. You're so caught up in someone else's household, worried about what they're doing, saying it on MySpace, checking it on Facebook. That becomes your life. Your life is consumed with the households of others. That's what it is. And then you find yourself taking the next step, which is you start following Satan. Verse 14, I will therefore that the young women marry, bear children, guide the home. The word guide here is a powerful word because it means to be the master manager of your home. Think about it. If this is going to function, and if the husband's role primarily is to be the provider, and he's going out there providing, then guess what? The wife then has to be the manager or the leader, the guide of that home. She can't be idle. She's got to be busy in her own house. Because if she's not, she's going to be caught up in the house of others. Verse 15, for some are already turned aside after Satan. As we close, a picture of this is Proverbs 7. What does it look like? What is an idle woman's who's abandoned the responsibilities of industry, of her husband, and the rearing of her children? Solomon gives us that picture. And I'm going to read it, and then we'll close, and then we'll pick up at this point. Starting at verse 6 through 27, we won't take all the time, but he describes this woman in Proverbs 7. First of all, she's on the corner. Verse 8, passing through the street near her corner. And he went the way of her house. He's talking about this man. Notice in verse 10, her clothing. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and subtle heart. Notice her manner in verse 11 and 12. She's loud and stubborn, her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at the corner. Notice her bed in verses 16 and 18. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love into the morning. Let us solace ourselves with love. Notice she's a married man, and guess what? She's married to a good man. Verse 19, for the good man What does it say? For the good man. We don't need Tyler Perry for this. The name of the play, You Can't Handle a Good Man. Tim?
I got you. I got you.
I'm just telling you, all these, Wanda, I need all the actors and actors. You can't handle a good man. All right? We're gonna do it. Bible Baptist, we're gonna do it. Terry, Wanda, all the actors and actresses from the last play. We're gonna do it. But notice, 19, for the good man is not at home. He's gone on a long journey. He had taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech, she calls him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. He goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to the slaughter, as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteneth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O children. Attend to my words. Let not my heart decline to her ways. Go not astray into her path, for she hath cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Paul puts it this way. The young women, they're going to be wanted with desire. They need to marry. They need to bear children. They need to become masters of the home. They need to focus on their home life. Their children. They need to manage that like a business. It needs to function properly. And guess what? Because if you don't, you become idle. You're going to become busybodies. You're going to be going house to house. You're going to get caught up in the affairs of others. You're going to be focused so much on their house that you're not thinking about your house. And then you're going to start following Satan. And then you're going to succumb, as Solomon says. You're going to start hanging on the corners. You're going to get loud. You're not going to pay attention to your dress. You're going to be enticing other men. And then when your good man is gone, when the good man is gone, he's taking a bag of money. May get to the point where he come home and say, honey, pack your bags. We won the lottery. And she said, where we going? No, we ain't going nowhere. I said, pack your bags. Now, don't go out there and play the lottery and say, you know, the pastor I picked a good number here. I'm just illustrating that. I'm just trying to make a point here. When the good man come home, what is he going to find? The husband, because of idleness. God expects the wives to willingly submit themselves as the Lord Jesus Christ did to the Father. In no time, relinquishing the will by force